What's up, everybody? My name is Michael. I'm a 24-year-old from Orlando, Florida, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about habits. Now, as a person who's trying to improve my life, I believe that habits are very, very important. They shape who you are as a person, and ultimately, what ends up happening is you become the sum total of your habits. So, let's just say that you want to be a person who's fit in the gym. The only way that you're going to be that fit person in the gym is being consistent in the gym every single day. That means making a habit of going to the gym as consistently as possible. So you have to have, a routine to it. You have to make it an everyday thing so that way you can consider yourself a fit type of person. And the same could be said about anything, right? If you want to be, let's just say, an artist, you got to be able to make it a habit of drawing every single day. Doesn't mean that you're going to be a good artist, but to be considered an artist, right? To be considered somebody who does something, to be considered a guitarist or to be considered a musician, you have to be somebody who's doing that on a consistent basis. And so if you want to be considered these things, if you're trying to improve yourself, then you should be building your habits towards that certain thing every single day, right? Habits lead me to a verse in the Bible. This Bible verse is in Matthew 13 verse 4. Behold, a sower went out and sowed, and he sowed some seed that fell by the wayside, and the birds came to devour them. Some fell on stony places where they did not have much earth, and they immediately sprang up because they had no depth of the earth. When the sun was up, they were scorched because they had no root and withered away. And some fell among the thorns, and the thorns sprang up and choked them. But others fell on good ground and yielded a crop. Some 100-fold, some 60, some 30. He who has ears, let him hear. There's so much revelation that you can gain in that verse. But when you specifically tailor it to habits, the one thing that truly ends up being highlighted in this verse is if you don't have a strong foundation, then all of the things that you try to do in this life are going to be dried up or scorched away, just like, some of these soil types, right? So building yourself on a strong foundation, whether that is your environment, let's just go from there. So let's just say you're trying to become somebody who eats healthy. You have to start with a solid foundation, and that solid foundation would be getting rid of all the junk food that's in your house, right? In your fridge, on your countertop, in the cupboards, in your pantry. You got to get rid of all that food that's not good for you and start off with a solid foundation, an empty slate, as some people call it. And then from there, building a habit of buying like healthy foods, right? So building a habit of buying healthy foods and making those foods the first thing that you see in the morning. When you open up your fridge, all you see is apples, you see oranges, you see fruits, you see vegetables, you see your meal prep. And all you can do is just eat healthy at that point. There's nothing you can do about it. And that all happens with you building that foundation, that strong foundation. There's another verse too that I like that Jesus talks about. That one is the parable of the man who builds his house on rock, and then the other man builds his house on sand. So building your house on sand, and I think this is a perfect illustration. Building your house on sand is essentially you saying, okay, I'm gonna start this habit, and you trying to go solely based off your willpower. That's stupid, and what ends up happening is you're just gonna fall back into your habit 10 times worse than before. So you have to build your house on a rock, and what that looks like for you is very, very different. You can, number one, get somebody who you're accountable to, and that person who's holding you accountable will allow you to be stronger and going towards that goal. Number two is what I said, where you can kind of go to cold turkey. So you get rid of all the old stuff, all the things that were holding you back, right? Whether it be like the unhealthy foods, whether it be, the TV, or whether it be the apps on your phone. Just getting rid of those, cold turkey, and just locking in on focusing on becoming the person that you want to become. That's building your house on foundation. Building your house on sand is trusting in yourself and allowing yourself to hold yourself accountable to achieve and attain these goals. Because at the end of the day, it's like you're not going to be a different person than you were yesterday. So if I say I want to lose weight, if I start going to the gym tomorrow, it doesn't mean that I'm going to lose weight. You can't set yourself on that type of foundation, because that foundation is a foundation of sand. You have to set your foundation on a foundation of a rock. So if you want to end up going to the gym, if you want to be a person that ends up being healthy and who's in shape, then you need to make it a goal to go to the gym every single day. And that is a lot easier, and it's a lot of a stronger foundation than you saying that you want to lose weight, so you're just going to start going to the gym, right? So you have to be very, very clear about your goals, right? Like, you can even get revelation on the rocky foundation versus the foundation of sand, in that sense, where it's like your rocky foundation is your goal clearly defined, right? And your sandy foundation is your goal unclearly defined, because now it's like, okay, well, if I say I want to lose weight, how much weight, when do I want to lose the weight, what do I want to lose the weight for? Do I want to lose it for my family to gain a longer life, or do I want to lose weight just to look good? Either way, like, the goals are valid, but you have to build it on this rocky foundation, because if not, you know, the storms are going to come, like it says in the parable, and those things are going to wipe away. So just build your house on rocky ground. If you want to change who you are and you want to change outcomes in your life, you have to change your habits. I hope that helped you out. Stay tuned for more videos and take care. Peace.